Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's that guy, and I'm joined by the SharinGANG. Introduce yourself, lads.
PT64, how are we doing?
And Clockwork Nerd, how's it going?
And this week, we have been joined by what we decided to call Luke the First, which would make Big Tom the Second.
Wait.
Would you even know what that means? Would you even understand the reference?
No, but you can tell me though.
What's going to be a little bit more interesting about this one is Big Tom, or Tom, we'll just call him from now on, doesn't have much experience in the ways of the weebdom.
No, I'm here to be educated.
Yeah, he's more of a comic fan, which is where I think he'll get on with you two.
We'll educate we can.
Yeah. You two have got far more comic knowledge than I have. But we will test your weebiness over the course of the next hour or so.
Cool.
What did you have in mind you'd be most passionately talking about during this hour or so when I invited you on?
Everything nerdy, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
I know you as a character, Ryan, so I know that it'd be, that guy, should I say?
Yeah. It's cool. Don't worry. It's all right. The face reveal happened ages ago, mate. It's fine.
Yeah. So I know you as a person. I know you as a character. So I knew it'd just be a bit of fun for an hour. So yeah, I'm just here to listen, take on, and discuss when I need to.
Sounds all right. Cool. Well, by the end of this, mate, you are gonna definitely be at least intrigued for an anime called Bleach. I can probably assure you.
I know of Bleach.
Yeah,
I know of Bleach. And I've never watched it, though, but I know of it.
Well, that's a good point, actually. If we'll find out a little bit about what you're into for now, but let's see how much we can sort of, for want of a better wording, groom him.
I feel that's a poor
Prepared to be
tainted.
tainted.
So I'll fire the first proper question then. What anime do you know of?
Dragon Ball Z.
Oh yeah, of course.
You made that one easy, didn't you?
That's such an easy question. Come on, bro.
Yeah, I don't know how deep it goes. So Dragon Ball Z,
that's fair.
and you know of Bleach, but have yet to experience the utter delights that it is. So we're talking like just the water on top of the ice, really, aren't we?
Oh, well, would you class One Punch guy, One Punch Man as anime?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I've watched
One Punch
that.
Man is a manga into anime. Yeah, man. Yeah, 100% it is.
Yeah, I watched that and I absolutely loved that. So I was waiting on season 2. So.
Yeah, incredible.
Oh, sounds okay, nice.
Absolutely awesome. Absolutely awesome. And by the end of this, if there's one thing you will take away, you're thinking in the back of your mind, Tom, you'll be thinking, I need to get to manga. Because I didn't need to wait for season 2, lad, let me tell you. I am so far beyond season 2, it's insane. And it is outrageously good. I can't even begin to tell you just how incredible One Punch Man really is when it actually gets into it and starts introducing more of the heroes that you see, especially when it goes into like the S-class heroes that they talk about, that Genos becomes one of straight away. When it actually starts going in and showing you in detail then. Incredible.
Nice. Got me excited already.
It's awesome. It really is. Yeah, dude, honestly, it's so good. It really is. And like I've said so many times, I know I've definitely said it on the podcast, that is a manga genuinely where even though you're reading it and it's like comic strip, as it were, you see it in full motion. And the only way that you can understand what I'm talking about is to genuinely see it for yourself.
Nice.
It's insane.
That's the point, actually. That's a bit of a comparison. It's not very... I've not read a total load of comics, but the way they're sort of set out versus the animated equivalents is sort of different. We'd sort of try and get as close to the manga as possible with anime. Well, not always, but they tend to be pretty close to the manga with anime. But with obviously these cartoons, the Marvel and DC cartoons, they obviously tell the stories as well. But there's so much sort of expansive, just purely animated universe to it. If that makes any sense. I just said a lot of words. I know what I mean. Hopefully that makes sense.
I think I get what you mean.
The main thing that
Yeah.
I took from it was the fact that
the caffeine hit me all at once.
like anime and manga, obviously, even though all of them look different in the sense of the characters are different, you know, you do get your slightly different styles of it, right? Yeah. So, you know, I am saying, yes, they're different. But if you're reading things like Marvel and DC comics, those characters are portrayed through the artist's personal interpretation. That's the one real difference. If you look at, for instance, like the graphic novel Kingdom Come, which is DC, is literally drawn like they're real people. Like, it's not drawn in that sort of cartoonish, comic-y way. They are literally drawn like they are legit people in these outfits. How they look if the real people were looking like that. And then you've got all the other ones that are your standard sort of, comic as you would expect it to be.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Where the difference is it can be totally, wildly different. That's what I took from that. It's probably not at all what you were talking about.
No, it's like the fact that there is such variation in comics and sort of the superhero animations versus the equivalent in manga and anime. Like, you'll get a manga, there'll be an anime, there might be some spin-offs here or there, but everything, particularly Marvel and DC, that's the all I really know. Was it Dark? This Black Horse, Dark Horse as well. Do some
Dark Horse
do some as well. I've come across. I think was it Dark Horse that did some Assassin's Creed graphic novels?
I want to say yes.
Quite possibly. I'm sure. Was it?
Sure, it was them.
Was it not Dark Horse who did like Dread and things like that? Like the other like big names.
I think so. Yeah, I think Dark Horse were the other big name.
The outsiders, as I like to call it. They're owned by DC, aren't they?
I couldn't tell you on that.
But what you got to remember, man, DC was like a huge collective of small independent companies bought and slapped under an umbrella.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what DC was, man. Yeah. Like so many DC characters and that you see get put into the DC universe as a whole. So many of them were different companies' hero ideas that got brought together because DC bought them all up.
Okay. I just thought it's like a studio and these guys just get to work on it.
Yeah, there's certain characters from Marvel. Well, they were originally Marvel characters and came over to DC because certain writers or drawers or pencilists didn't want to work for Marvel and then brought the characters over to DC and stuff like that. So there's a lot of stuff like that going on.
Every day's a school day. So even I didn't know that.
Yeah, that must be some old school stuff. Like
Yeah, you're talking like that 80s stuff, 80s, 90s
Yeah,
stuff.
I was going to say, I know that obviously, you know, ideas get stolen back and forth between the two of them, the big names, you know.
Yeah, there's always like an equivalent on each side, isn't there? I love it.
Always.
Oh, man, every time. And somebody always made it first. And, you know, even though I'm more of a DC fan, I hold my hand up that certain characters are, you know, better in the certain universe than others. It doesn't happen very often in Marvel's favour, but it does happen. Do you know what I mean? But it does happen here and there. You know?
There is actually a Captain Marvel in DC.
Yeah. Shazam.
I remember about all that controversy, wasn't it? Jeez.
Because obviously there was there was the original Captain Marvel in Marvel, who was a dude who died of cancer. You know, I mean that's the way to put your hero down.
Isn't it?
Just
And then
keep it real.
Yeah, and then obviously it became a lady.
Yeah, there's Captain Marvel. Yeah, it's a little girl. Yeah.
Yeah.
All the recent comics are all the girl. Yeah. But I'm not really a massive Marvel fan. I am more down the DC route of things because I feel like it is so more darker in DC than it is in Marvel.
Yeah, it is very, like I say, I do like Marvel, I do, but unfortunately, you know, I don't have too many conversations with diehard Marvel fans because something always comes up that we end up disagreeing on because I do prefer DC and, you know, anybody telling me 9 times out of 10 that say, oh, this character would beat that character, just fuck off. Talking shite, right? Yeah. If I hear one more time that the Hulk can beat Superman, I'm going to lose it, right? If I hear one more time that the Incredible Hulk is somehow going to beat Superman, I just don't know what I'll do. I swear to God.
Who the fuck's claiming that?
Mate, I've heard
claiming that shit.
I've heard it more than once, man. And I'm just like, oh dear. Yeah, enjoyed the MCU films, didn't you, mate? Yeah. Enjoyed them. Yeah, read a comic, son.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do go back to the films and stuff like that rather than going to the actual original source. You know, a lot of people go to the films and say this is the actual story when it's very much not that in the comics whatsoever. It's portrayed so differently.
This is the thing. I mean,
it's
so wildly changed.
What did they just do in the Marvel ones? What was that whole thing? The Infinity Gauntlet. I was aware of. I hadn't read the comics. I'd done was it Comic Storian, and those types of YouTube readers, and found out about the whole saga about how Thanos did it for what's her name, Lady Death, and blah blah.
Yeah, I was gonna say
But then I watched the movies and everything, and it's sort of like maybe because I'm not as much into it as a lot of the people that watched it were. But if I'd recall it, when it comes up in conversation now, it's always the movie version that I sort of find myself going to it first, and then sort of having to check myself, which must be frustrating for
they dull it down
fans.
They dull it down so much for kids. Like, for instance, I'm not massively into Marvel, but like Iron Man is a raging alcoholic in the comics.
Yeah.
He's not that in the films.
They've got the perfect person to play Iron Man and told him to play someone just a little bit like yourself.
Yeah, pretty much.
Don't be yourself, even though that would be spot on, mate. Don't do that.
The thing is, though, this is why do you think they got Robert Downey Jr. to play Tony Stark? Because he basically is Tony Stark. So it's like,
basically, be yourself, but tone it down.
All he had to do was get out of bed and walk on set, and he's laughing. There he is, ready to rock and roll. Do you know what I mean? I'm Iron Man. Like, he's got it locked in. This is the thing. It's just certain characters where I didn't know, because I wasn't really deep into the Marvel universe, so I didn't know about Inhumans all that time ago. I didn't know about Guardians of the Galaxy, this, that, and the other. And the thing is it's like, you always get those films that come out for something that done, you haven't really seen it, you haven't heard much about it, but oh no, you're the only one, mate. Everyone else has. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
what are you talking about? I love Rocket Raccoon. I've always loved Rocket Raccoon. No, you haven't.
I was going to say that with Guardians of the Galaxy. I knew nothing about it before the movies at all. I watched the movies, and in my naivety, I'm thinking, isn't this supposed to be something new? Why does it feel like I'm missing out on a lot here, even though I've just finished the first film? I just, you know what I mean? Everyone's like, no. But I'm like, you guys must have went out and bought or read them online, over the course of last week, because I'm pretty sure you didn't know about any of this stuff.
It's the kind of thing where it's just like, oh no, quick! I'm meeting me new bird's dad. I need to read up on football suddenly. Hit that Wikipedia up, quick. Let me get some quick fire round answers. It's literally like one of those. It's like you didn't know anything about that. It was such an unbelievably unheard of comic. I'm not saying that it didn't have thousands of fans, maybe hundreds of thousands. I'm not saying that, but for the most part, it was unheard of. And then suddenly, you know what I mean? Do a film. Nah, mate, it's always been my favourite. You know about.
It's like just admit, just be yourselves, guys. It's fine. Nah, there is a lot of that though. I mean, it's with lore in video games and stuff as well, though, isn't there? There's the people like yourself that fully get into the lore, and then there are people like myself that just do the bare minimum just to keep
my viewpoint, man. I just don't see the point when you don't. That's that, and it's not me. This is not like a thing directly at you. Genuinely,
yeah. I know my flaws. It's fine.
This is a generality. Anybody who goes I played that game, finished it. Did you enjoy it? Yeah, we're good. Oh, what did you think of this? And they just have no idea what you're talking about. I'm like, well, we've wasted both of our time, haven't we? Because you've put double figure hours into this game and you don't even know what was going on. Seriously, how can you do? That's like getting to the end of a book and just being like, what have I just read? What's you spending your time on then?
But it's not me though. I mean, I did get to level 30 on Horizon without knowing what I was doing.
Yeah, but you were still following the story, weren't you?
Yeah.
And you still knew the character's name and this, that, and the other.
I've got enough sense to at least get there. You know what I mean?
Do you not think the casual player just wants to complete the game? That's what it feels like to me. The casual player just wants to complete it.
See, the thing is, the only reason I say it genuinely is because surely, right, if you want to play a game, just take, for example, man, if you want to do anything at all, you have to have an interest in doing that thing.
Yeah.
Therefore, if you want to play a game, you surely must have an interest in that game. Therefore, where has the interest got lost while playing it? Because if you're interested in that game, surely you want to learn about that game while you're playing it, the world that you're playing in. That's why I don't get it.
as deep into it on most games I play, as you know. There are a handful of games that I've played and I've gone through. The Witcher was one of them. The Witcher was the first game, that RPG sort of style of game I don't normally go for, that I then went and read the flipping books and proper got into it.
Yeah.
Whereas most games, as you know, I like Dynasty Warriors, bro, because you're just wading through, like, you know what I mean? It's bright lights, it's crazy noises and sound effects and stuff. They're the sort of games that I go for, innit?
What, you 7?
Bright lights and sound effects. I'm happy.
Yeah. I mean, like,
man, I'm only kidding. I get the appeal. I do. I get the appeal. I mean, I get the appeal so much so they stuck a Zelda skin on it. You know what I mean? So I get the appeal, right? I do. I understand it. It's just never been for me.
Yeah.
And you know, man, I'm absolute.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
it.
full weeb. I love it, man. Anything Japanese, and it's like I would love nothing more than to enjoy Dynasty Warriors because I can't, because you can't.
Yeah, it is like a bad sort of combat version of FIFA, I suppose.
That's just made it worse, hasn't it?
I didn't think it was that bad, but
you're getting the same thing every time. It's the same story. It's the same characters. It's this. It just looks a little bit better
but isn't
each
it
time.
set in like a different part of Japan at least, not on, a football pitch again?
So the game Dynasty Warriors is a retelling of the same novel or history of China. There's sort of, it's up in the air whether or not it's actual history or not. But you're literally playing through the same story, the same battles, the same random events and specials.
There's been like 10 games. There's got to be something different by now, surely.
Yeah, the last one, the whole thing's one open world rather than split levels, but it's the same thing.
Oh, lovely. Lovely. Keep it fresh then.
Yeah, it's the only one I haven't actually like put money into, honestly. Yeah.
So
the
there's
only one
anything that
that's
I've learned.
actually different.
So if there's anything I've learned, it's not to buy that game, right?
Yeah. Like honestly, like there wasn't much going off for me at the time. When I first got into, I got hooked. It's like people that play Guitar Hero. There are some people that are, to this day, still like smashing Guitar Hero out like on a regular. I couldn't. I'm like, okay, it's a novelty game. I couldn't get into that to play like, main or play very frequently, but people still do. So I suppose I'm like a Guitar Hero player or a dance mat game. So it's like, just put the tat away. Stop there. I can't help it.
I was gonna say it's funny because I always saw Guitar Hero almost like, that thing that people always say when they go like, oh, other people's kids are great because you're there, you spend time, and then you can leave. Do you know what I mean? And then they're stuck with him. That's how I always used to feel about Guitar Hero. Go around someone's house, have a little play, spot on. Glad I don't have this at home.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like that was always one of those kinds of things where I was just like, no. Like I'm so glad to play it.
I enjoyed it until my little brother got better than me at it, and he could like hold a conversation with me while beat a level on a harder difficulty level than I could do it on while I'm focused. And I was like, he did it with me in FIFA as well. I suppose it's one of those guys. I can't play. I can't do it anymore. You've just ruined it for me. What about the whole drum kit and the singing one? I never played
Rock Band.
That was it.
It's just like the whole Wii thing. People bought Wiis and then played them for a week and then put them back. It's not like, so novelty.
Yeah. Well, the Wii games that involved the controls, the Wiimotes, there were like two types of games on the Wii. I found I didn't play it extensively, but there were the ones that were just sort of using the gimmick of the controls.
Ones that did work and ones that didn't.
And then there were actual games that that were on a console that unfortunately was just marketed for what now looks like a gimmick, I suppose now, doesn't it? But it was quite personally exciting at the time for me.
See, always having been a huge Nintendo fan, I got a lot out of my Wii. I really did. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously it wasn't just the gimmickiness that I got out of the Wii. Being a big Nintendo fan, I was getting all the original titles and whatnot. I'm getting all those titles that I love. And Super Mario Galaxy was, for me, still is to this day, the greatest 3D Mario game ever made. So for me, the Wii really did hit it off.
It's more nostalgia. Really it's nostalgia.
Oh, now, man. Yeah, I wouldn't whip it out now, for instance, and start bashing on it.
Oh, no, we know better to play old games now, don't we? We know better than our lessons.
Man, I'll tell you what. say if there's one thing streaming's taught me, leave it alone. Seriously, leave it alone. Oh, Assassin's Creed. Oh, it's so dead and buried. Like, bodies shouldn't rot that quick. Well, let me tell you.
It upset me because I want to be able to defend it. Even I like, maybe if I was playing, it wouldn't have gone so badly, but I'm pretty sure it would have.
Probably would have.
And it's one of my favorite games. So yeah. Did Mario Galaxy? Sorry, did it use much of the Wiimote stuff?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it did.
Oh.
Yeah, you
I remember playing like
use
the Zelda on it, and it would.
Yeah, that did as well.
Yeah, that would.
You had to swing your sword with it.
It was cool at first, but then it's just a bit. But when I was playing the forest in VR, like, you know, I hacked down a few trees in VR. I'm like, right, I've done 2 now. I just want to do it on a control pad. Like,
The thing is, if I'm chopping trees down, I know what's more effort. Me clicking my index finger or swinging my arms round. Look, I'll get hench when I do get lost on a deserted island, right? Then I'll work on my arms. For the time being, I'm all right for it. Yeah, I don't need that. Definitely not.
Definitely.
Like you were saying about the VR stuff, do you not feel like that's just never going to take off?
It's going to get way gnarlier.
I don't know if it's because I've got my first VR headset, and obviously I'm more invested in the world of VR, but it does seem like it's taking off. It's because I'm exposing myself to the medium, and obviously the medium's going to say, yeah, it's amazing, it's great. But since I've got the Oculus alone, the stuff that I've seen and heard of us getting off in VR, and the numbers of people getting the headsets seems to be on the increase. And I can see it being maybe not completely replacing games on a flat screen as we know it, but it's going to be commonplace just as a console, I feel.
100%. I'm telling you now, Tom, it hasn't even lifted off yet.
Yeah.
Even though it's so widely available, I'm telling you now, we're not even there yet.
Now that Facebook have got involved on it, geez.
Matt, seriously, there'll come a time where it'll be in your house as standard. I'm calling it now. Seriously, it'll be one of those things where it's there. Bearing in mind that not only is it not available yet in the home to have the thing that you walk on when you're in the harness, and it's a complete 360-degree you walk in the game, so you really are actually walking to move around. That's not even available in the home yet, and that exists. And you've also got the body suit that you can wear, which when you get shot, it shocks you in that spot where you've been hit, so you actually interact with the world that you're in. So you actually technically feel the pain of the world that you're in. Dude, this is how on the edge we are.
They have just sort of like emerged as going to be available pretty soon. Widely, those going to be pricey, obviously, those vests and stuff. But since Facebook bought out Oculus alone, the obviously, because I'm looking into it now, the technology involved in VR is come on massively, and apparently Facebook had like the VR team set up and was doing incredible things before they even bought out Oculus.
Nice.
I mean, we're talking about now. Like, have you ever used VR before?
I have, and I didn't like it.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I got it because it all of a sudden seemed accessible of its price to me, and because The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners looked like it was going to be the most fun in VR. And I haven't played it as much as I thought I would.
Nope.
And I am not bothered. It's not like it bothers you. When you get a really good game, or you come across a really good book, you want to get back to it all the time.
Yeah.
This sounds so familiar, man.
It does. Yeah, it doesn't have that for me. I'm glad it's there, and I will jump into it every now and then. But to be honest with you, the most fun I've actually had in it so far is Beat Saber. I am not lying.
Really?
Yeah, but
funny thing is,
no.
Pokemon
VR. Sorry, Pokemon VR was the most fun. Yeah, that was fun. Yeah. But that was only thanks to the other people that was playing the game with me in VR. So yeah. See,
this is it. Like I mean, it's only a matter of time before video calling turns into VR calling. Let's be honest. So there's only a matter of time before that. You've already got VR chat and whatnot, so that's a stone's throw away. Before you'll just be able to appear in something. Honestly, it's like I'm going to be kneeling before Emperor Palpatine here. Seriously, going to be appearing before me. Do you know what I mean? Going to be kneeling before the Lord. Tell you now.
Actually, have you not seen the Star Wars VR? They're not quite games. They're calling those interactive movies type things. The Darth Vader ones.
See, I tend to stay away from those kind of things because they always turn around and go, like, oh, be the Batman. Be Vader. No.
Yeah.
No, it's not. I don't feel like I'm in that. It takes to feel like Vader. I need to put the suit on. Right, on my body, right? Then I'll feel like Darth Vader. Do you know what I mean? Then I'll feel like Darth Vader. It's one of those
I'm just looking
things.
up at my Ichigo costumes in the corner of my room. I'm like, yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, exactly, man, exactly. But the funny thing is, you do. You do know what I mean. Like, you know,
100%.
even just popping out on the back and putting my Sith dressing gown on. I'm that much darker for it, right? I'm that much more ready for someone to come strolling in to my back garden for me to unleash my unlimited power. I'm telling you.
I can imagine, actually, yeah, somebody tried to, like, you know, break into my flat while I'm walking around in my Ichigo costume, just playing with my swords in the mirror. Like, yeah, of course they're not going to.
The last thing they'd hear is Bunky!
100%.
That's the last thing they'd hear, man.
Oh my god. Oh.
Oh, gosh.
I'm telling you now. Honestly, it gives you power. Being a super nerd gives you power. This is the reason there's a perk on Fallout called like Nerd Rage, I think it is.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. Seriously, get me in an outfit of a badass character. I'll fight anyone.
Do you know what I think it is? I think it's because of that standard trope in manga and anime where the underdog story. The guy starts off so pathetic, but through sheer will alone, he pulls it off every time.
Exactly.
And I think we've all got that little underdog inside of us. And if somebody, you know what I mean? If it came to it, I'm going to reach down and go Super Saiyan and it's going to be awesome. Like, you know, I'm going to believe in the heart of the cards and the power of friendship and it's going to be fine.
Exactly. Like, if I look down and see those, like, you know, ninja sandals on, then I know that I'm gonna get that little spark inside me to be like, get up, we can do this. But if I look down and I'm seeing those Adidas, no, the game's over. The game's over, right? They've won and it's over. Right? Telling you now. Honestly, if I had that Naruto outfit on, no chance. It wouldn't have even been me anyway, it'd be me clone. you only thought you got me, mate. But telling you, there's a power behind it. There's a power behind cosplay.
Oh shit! Right.
Oh,
Tom, Big Tom. Let's. What's your favorite animation? There's so many of the Marvel DC. I prefer the DC ones myself, but the animations, because some of them are like clearly not just made for kids.
Yeah.
Which ones stand out for you?
Can I be deadly honest with you?
Go for it.
I'm really enjoying, because I watch it with my little girl, but I really enjoy Teen Titans Go.
Yeah. Fair.
Yeah.
And the reason I like it is because, yes, it is aimed at children, but there is certain jokes in there. Like The Simpsons is very like, you know, like kind of grabs at you. Yeah. And it's like, that's not for kids, that's for us, but they know that the parents is going to be watching it with them. And
that is one thing I will say about the superhero cartoons is they all seem to have that. Some of them more than others, that element. Some of them is just like, you're not even trying to like be child friendly here, are you? Like, where did this rating come from with how many sort of underhanded jokes come up in them? So I do appreciate exactly what you say.
It's crazy. It is. I swear there's more sexual references in kids programs than there are in like adult film.
It's so true.
I will tell you though, my favorite animation, one of my favorite animations of all time is definitely Elf and Lied.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's not one that I've seen, you know.
You've never seen Elf and Lied?
No.
I think I've seen a couple episodes a few years
It's
back.
a fantasy style one,
yeah.
isn't it? Yeah, and that's why I sort of steered away.
No, you need to
from
watch it. It's gruesome as anything. That's why I like it, because it's super dark. Like, she turns and like she's just like this cute pink-haired innocent girl, and then she kills for nothing. Like, it's so dark. That's why I like it. So if I'm teaching you anything tonight, guys, watch Elf and Lied, all of it.
To be fair,
so sick.
I have just given it a Google right now, and it's not what I thought it was. There is something ever so faintly familiar. It's been a while has it been around for a while? When was it?
Yeah, it's super. It's old, but yeah,
I was gonna say
it's one of them classics I've got.
travels.
Like, it's good.
What other classics have you seen then? Like, because you see that alone says more to me about earns you more Weeb points than Dragon Ball Z. even though I'm the biggest Dragon Ball Z fan here.
No, I know what you're saying, though. Especially if we haven't even heard of it. Good lord, absolutely, man. Ascended.
Yeah, like because I like the older stuff. Like I used to read it when I was younger, and then kind of turned over to the comic books in my older side. Like I've been getting older, sort of turned to more the DC stuff because, to be honest, is more. It's madness how because I went back in lockdown, got me pushed back into comics. So I went back to like the 70s and 80s. Yeah. In lockdown, I went back right back to like the beginning, like for DC, like Crisis on Infinity Earths, and then going down to Doomsday Clock and Final Crisis, Infinity Crisis. I went all the way back, so I was reading like that stuff compared to what today.
They are beasts as well, then.
Yeah, like they're big books. Like I've sat and I've got like the Flashpoint and stuff to read, and just like going all the way back to all the older stuff. So for me personally, like manga and anime, I watched it a long time ago. So like it's not relevant to the stuff that is
back
out
in the
of
hand-drawn
today.
days.
Yeah.
Mate, if you haven't watched Cowboy Bebop, you'd be a massive fan of that if you're into your older ones. Genuinely.
No, I haven't seen that, so I will give that a look in.
Oh, yeah. Man, soundtrack on that is dope.
Yeah, honestly, Cowboy Bebop is so old school, man. It's amazing. It's just awesome.
It feels like jazzy hip hop when you watch it. Just the whole thing just feels like it's jazzy hip hop in anime form. It's amazing. Wonderful.
It's amazing.
Wonderful.
It is.
Yeah. I love it.
I get almost like it sounds daft, but just for me personally, I almost get a very faint little like Firefly vibe from it, from Cowboy Bebop.
I've never seen that.
I'm pretty sure. Obviously, if you haven't seen Firefly, then it'd be one of those things. Have you seen Firefly Clockwork? Surely.
I've seen some of Firefly. It was a long time.
Fair. I was going to say
back when it first started getting dropped.
Because that is right up your alley, mate. Let me tell you now, you love Firefly.
What's the name of the movie they did?
Serenity. Everybody watches it second. Everyone watches that first. No. Now you've got to watch Firefly the series and then Serenity afterwards.
I'm sure I watched some of Firefly on the Sci-Fi Channel when they first started dropping it.
So it'd be like,
way back when. I was like, this story makes no goddamn sense.
Well, this is what I mean, man. It's like, the problem is, obviously, like loads of people watching Serenity. That would literally be like someone telling you to watch Dragon Ball Super, then Z.
Yeah.
Don't do that. That annoys me.
Yeah,
don't do that.
It's just wrong. It's the wrong way round. Do you know what I mean? You wouldn't play the sequel of a game and then play the first one. Unless it was Mass Effect, but you wouldn't just do that straight off the bat. Well, I wouldn't anyway. That's just ludicrous. I mean, I wouldn't. But
speaking of the order of things, actually, one of the reasons why I stuck with like the whole anime and manga versus comics is because of the order of things. Like, it seems like a massive web. You can just follow one character, but if you really get into that one hero, you come across others which play parts in theirs, and you want to investigate that as well to get a fuller picture. And then before you know it, you've got all of these crises messing all these multiverses up and everything. It's like, where do you start? Some people is New 52 DC or Marvel? That's the DC.
DC.
Yeah.
That's
so some people like.
That's my favourite ever 52 is, and that was hated a lot. But see, that's
Jeff Johns, mate. What do you expect?
I don't get it. People say like, start at 52 or start at New 52. I'm like, I just want to start at a place where I can then get to another point and get a sense of completion.
Yeah, that's the one, man. New 52 is the reboot.
The New 52 is the reboot. If you want to go all the way back and want to know more about the multiverse, you read Crisis on Infinity Earths. But if you want to read just like Batman, you go like for the New 52, 100%.
Yeah, definitely, man. I'll lend you a couple of bits and bobs, man. I know you look after it on pain and death, so I'll lend you a couple of graphic novels to sink your teeth into, man. I'm definitely lending you Doom, which is literally the reboot of the Justice League first forming together, fighting Doomsday, and it's a banger.
Oh, was there an animation of that?
Yes.
They did the film of it. They did the film of it.
I've seen so many of the DC hero movies.
It's because they're the best.
I think weren't they? I think Netflix had a load of them at one point, like loads, and I just watched them all. I went on some website.
Prime Video was the best for it. Prime Video had a daft amount. Had like
loads.
all the Green Lantern films. Had like Flashpoint on it. Justice League films. It had the Justice League series on it from when we were younger.
Yeah,
which is awesome. It even had Young Justice.
Oh, Young Justice
Yeah.
so good. I love
Yeah, even
Videos.
Young Justice on.
Oh.
Yeah, they've got Prime Video's got everything on there. Absolutely
Has it?
everything. Yeah.
I got that, so I might actually. I've never used it because the one
Yeah,
or two
dude,
things I
look
tried
into
to
it.
watch, you had to pay for rather than stream, and I'm expecting it to work like Netflix. It's like, nah, you got to pay for that. I'm like, you know what, I'm done with it
Man,
now.
get yourself that sweet dose of John Stewart, right?
I know. I was going to say that was going to be my next
Just
question.
get
Actually.
it
What's your
done.
favorite Green
John
Lantern, Tom?
Stewart.
I don't. I'm not massively into Green Lantern, if I'm honest. It's not dark,
Okay.
isn't it? They're not dark enough for me.
Oh,
Okay.
how
No.
horribly wrong you are, sir.
They're not
Oh, I
dark
knew he
enough for
fucked up
me.
there.
No, they're not.
man.
They're not dark enough for me because they're obviously controlled. The lanterns are controlled, aren't they?
Yeah, but you've never read
obviously
Blackest Night, have you?
I was feared away from that. Someone said to me, "Don't read it; it's trash." I didn't read it.
Oh my god! I tell you what, whoever it was, keep their name stunned forever because I will punch them in the face. Right? I swear, I don't care who it is. I don't care who it is, where it is. They could be visiting their grandma on the deathbed. I'm knocking them out. Right? Anybody who said to you that Blackest Night was bad, never has a wronger statement been uttered by any human being.
Yeah, because I went
no.
to buy the
Dude.
omnibus. I went to buy the omnibus. And he was like,
Honestly, man.
because they're like, because obviously it's a lot of money to put into a book. It's an omnibus.
Yeah,
And
oh,
I was like, I'm gonna buy it. And he was like, no, please don't. It's trash. I was like, oh wow, okay.
Put it this way, jokes aside, Tom, genuinely, all jokes aside, mate, Blackest Night is my favourite DC graphic novel.
Mm.
Right?
I'll have
I
to
don't
look
need to say
into
any
it.
more than that. That's statement enough. Blackest Night is outrageously good. Like, if you don't think the Black Lanterns, literally zombies, raising these heroes from the dead,
Right, yeah,
Yeah,
You
it's
don't
like,
think that's dark enough,
is it the
mate?
dark universe? Is it part of the dark multiverse?
Man, it's
Because
about what's his name, like Black Hand, and literally, I can't remember his name now, but it's basically death. And
Because
it's
you've
literally the Black
got-
Lanterns, the Black Ring, literally like bury into the earth, go onto like, you know, the finger of like Batman's corpse and bring him back to life. Like we're talking, they are like brutal to the point where, what's his name now? Elongated Man, there you go. DC's version of Mr. Fantastic, super stretchy.
Yeah,
Mate,
yeah.
he caves Hawkman's head in with his own mace. It is darkness.
I'm gonna have
It
to look
is
at that.
so
It
good.
is
So
darkness. I love
Honestly,
it.
man, it is so good. And,
It sounds
actually-
very much on the lines of Dark Knight's metal and death metal. I don't know if you read death metal.
Yeah, no, I do know what you mean. Man, like, honestly, like, just all I can say, genuinely, Tom, is just give it a go, mate. Give it a go.
Yeah, I will.
Like-
I will. Promise.
Give it a go. That's all I can say to you. And it really isn't one of those things that I'm going to push. No, you have to. No, you have to. All I can recommend is just read it for yourself, man.
Yeah.
Because the problem is, I've made so many mistakes by listening to someone go, "Oh, it's crap that," and then I've finally got into it and be like, "This is incredible. What were they doing? Like, I've spent all this time like not getting into this when in actual fact it's amazing."
Yeah.
Man,
No,
like,
I
nah,
respect
I
it.
stopped doing that. As soon as someone's like, "No, it's crap that," I'm just like, "Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
we'll see.
No, I'll take that on board. I'll take that on board.
We'll see." Yeah, of all the graphic
Apologise to anybody who out there who's offended by that statement.
Just in case.
Because they
Mate.
probably know who they are, innit?
novels. More often than not, people are probably way more offended by me, you know, I go
I will punch them.
And
Lose a little bit there, innit?
that'll never change.
I don't think there was any bleeps or anything was needed, were there? No,
No,
not that I
no,
reckon.
no.
Not that we beep anything anyway, but yeah.
Do you do much reading online, or are you strictly
No,
paper-based?
I'm paper based, 100% paper based. Yeah,
I was gonna ask
I like
if you
boxes.
know.
I like boxes upon boxes upon boxes of books.
Yeah, that's my problem. Like,
Legendary, man.
I try to stay away from that. I've done some hoarding in my life, and just the need for more just takes over. And I will make it so I have the money. Like I keep a diet of potatoes now, so I can just buy stuff on Wish every month. Like it's getting ridiculous. Like, if I start collecting these mangas and these comics, it's gonna be horrible.
The issue I have with digital
online
stuff is,
services.
yeah, the issue I have with like digital copies, because obviously a lot of the comics do now give you a digital copy when you buy the actual hard piece. But for me personally, it's having something in my hand, something that I can pick up and actually read. I'm actually paying for something that I can physically touch, read, feel the pages, pick the book up when I want, put it down when I want. You know, I can read. You read a comic in 7 minutes? They say an average comic book should be read in 7 minutes. So you're picking it up. For me online, it's kind of like I've bought something that I can't keep. It's all digital. It doesn't.
Yeah,
like,
I get
for
what
me
you
personally,
mean.
it
Feels
doesn't
like it
stress me.
belongs to someone else. I get that. I get that. I really do get that.
I used to feel that way about console games. Like, until very recently, I was like, if I can't just get a hard disc, like, then I'm not bothering with it.
Yeah, with games. Used to be the same. Don't really care anymore now. The problem is you buy a disc for no reason. You put the disc in, and it needs to download everything anyway. And this is my biggest issue in this day and age. There is no. Once upon a time, you know, I was diehard, just like way back in the day with CDs, diehard like display guy. All the games have got to be there, all the cases. Do you know what I mean? But now I just buy them digital because half the time you get more bang for your buck. No matter what happens to your console, no matter what happens, you've always got that game because it's linked to your account. Do you know what I mean? And there's just so many pros. And like I say, the disc is completely redundant these days. It's not like back in the day where you put a cartridge in. It's cartridge or no game. You know, now the game's there anyway. And half the DLC, for instance, is locked behind 1 kilobytes worth of thanks for your tenner. Do you know what I mean? So it's all on there anyway. You know, they just lock it away from you want that extra, do you? That we've already put on the disc, or you already own it, mate. But you don't know that, do you?
I think when it comes to the stuff that I like to do with my time, I have turned into a bit of a millennial in the sense of I just want to pay a monthly fee and be able to consume as much of whatever I want that you have available as possible. So my ideal is, I was leading on to, like, if you did do it online, is there like a subscription service or some sort of service where it's just like a fee?
There's a few subscription services out there, but as I say, for me, it's like getting away from screen time, holding a book, even reading, going back to reading a manga and stuff. It's like getting away from the screen. You get that 10 minutes, an hour, whatever you want to put your nose into a book, and you get away from you know, notifications. You get away from being online. You just get to go into I like it because I go into a different world.
So I was just about to say, man, you get away from everything. Never even mind just that. You get away from the world around you.
Yeah.
Well, they say that there's something in reading from print. Like, it might be a bit wishy-washy, hocus-pocusy, but it's something that goes off in the brain when reading something in a book that doesn't quite happen when reading it off a face screen.
Go away. It will be, I tell you now, if and when, let's be honest, it happens, it will be a dark day when books don't get printed anymore. A very dark day indeed. But I have a question for you.
That would be on the horizon.
It probably will be, man. But I have a question for you, that guy. You know, with you asking Tom, of course, you know, how he feels about online reading. How do you have any opinions about reading online?
Listen, trust me, I have my opinions, yeah. But my opinions, I'm gonna say, it's bullshit, bro. It's fucking bullshit. But let's not get into it now, because I'll finish this off. I'll go for half an hour from now and finish it off. I don't want to do it now. We'll save it for a future one. But there needs to be some sort of fucking online manga service. There needs to be one. Like, stop telling me. Like, I've signed up to so much shit, and I still can't read manga legit anywhere online. But if I just type read manga into Google, I am met by pages and pages of pirate sites that don't even, like, you know what I mean? Like, on Google. What's up with that? And then I'm struggling to find a service that, But I mean, back in the day, that's all I had. That's all there was. Like, you couldn't find, even now, this stuff that I get into or stuff that I want to read, that if it's not Shonen Jump, you're struggling. Is what I've come across. Well, then again, I haven't really looked into it online very recently, like within the last few years. Yeah. But by the time I left Nottingham, I was giving up on, like, because there was one shop and it had very little, and, you know, that was it, unless you go overseas or whatever. But the game has changed massively since then.
A lot of it is online, though. A lot of purchasing is done online for like, I don't even go to like a local comic book shop, like, because they're just for services.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really checked Amazon for manga like since around that time, or if Amazon wasn't even as affluent. It was all eBay back then, before Amazon really took
That's where I
over.
got all mine from, Amazon. That's where I got every single volume of my
Have a look on
Naruto that I used to buy them in threes because it wound up
I
being
just want to be
cheaper.
able to, I just want to find a place where it's just all there. But the only places that have it all there are these damn scan sites, and like I got my Shonen Jump membership. I have. It's just these websites just are formatted better, and it's just easier for me to navigate on a desktop than on my phone. It's nothing for a desktop. Everything's like app based, and I want to just like you like to sit down with your books and read it. Like genuinely, most evenings, it's whatever I'm doing online, usually reading manga now, put on a lo-fi hip hop playlist and then just sit there, no Facebook, phones on silent, and just read.
See, that's something I've never got. I've never understood how somebody could listen to music and read a book at the same time. I don't get it.
Yeah, I've never got that.
I don't.
Yeah, I do it. I do that. That's exactly what I do. But I can't listen to word music. I can't listen to word music. Beats. Yeah, beats, like literally just instrumentals. Yeah.
See, to be fair, even that for me, I struggle. I really do struggle. Like when I get into a book and I like you were saying, Tom, when you really dive into that world, and you know what I mean, when you really dive in, like someone has to give you a couple of taps to break you out of it. You know what I'm talking about? You're in there. You know, when I'm in there, it takes me. I have to get into that space for things to start going on around me. If I've got a conversation happening next to me, my brain's going, "Whoa, what are they on about?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, let's not worry about that. Like, let's worry about what I'm trying to read here. Right, the same sentence we've read 10 times. Let's focus on that. And let's move beyond it, shall we? And it's like, it's pretty interesting. No, it isn't. Like, I'm not interested in what they're talking about. I don't care what they're talking about. Can we please just read the book? I just can't do it. I just can't do it.
Nah, it's got to be instrumentals, lo-fi hip hop beats or jazz hip hop beats.
Something like it's like low, something really like it's nothing like upbeat. It's just something very much like elevator music. Yeah, elevator music.
It's mid-end at the highest, none of that sort of distracting higher frequency noises.
It's not drum and bass. It's not drum and bass that's going to screw your face up halfway through a book, you know?
Nah, definitely not. It doesn't work, trust me.
Doesn't really make Aragon leading the charge into doesn't quite make it the same. doesn't quite give it the same air of fantasy, does it, when you're rocking into those beats? No, definitely not. Definitely not.
Oh, jeez. A comment question. How there has been these sort of restarts in the multiverses, is there likely to be more, or has that been like
they always restart? No, they always restart.
Yeah.
It's just
it's happened so many times, man. So many times. You get to a point where they can't really carry on, and they have to reboot it. If you get what I mean, like they might do some cataclysmic event where it's like, can't really go beyond that. Start again.
Yeah, like the crisis isn't that long. I see.
The most recent one is the dark, so they're into the dark multiverse at the minute.
Yeah,
so you've got like
the definitely not.
Yeah, it's more up to date. Is like your Dark Knight's death metal and stuff like that. There's like literally Batman, who's from the dark multiverse, and he's the evilest, sickest looking thing ever. Like so sick. So if you can Google like Dark Knight's metal Batman, like he's so sick, like the Batman who laughs.
Wait, the Dark Knight, they did a Black Panther, they've done a Spider Woman. Was it Dark Knight? Dark Knights, they did some versions of
about Dark Horse.
No, not Dark Horse. Who was it? They did I know it's the wrong universe, but I thought it was called Dark Knight, but it was Dark something Productions, and they did printed versions of a Black Panther, a Spider-Man and stuff, and they were like proper gritty. And I thought it was the same people, but obviously, as I've just realised, it's a different bloody universe altogether, innit? Yeah.
So they always used to pay me with Marvel. Like the characters have such capabilities to be, to have those sort of darker moments. But it's the simple things like, it's the simple things like, Wolverine, when you really like, get the proper real Wolverine stuff, and he is destroying people. He is chopping up with those claws that, they're made of adamantium. Let's not mess around. He's cutting people up. It's the same with Black Panther when he's got his claws. He's gone one up, hasn't he? He's got them vibranium claws. And it's not like he's not Kitty on the scratching post. He's taking your head off with them. But there's just, I mean, it might just be me. You know, I know I've got that, you know, I'm that little bit darker. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that there hasn't been, you know, darker stuff in Marvel. Yeah, you know, there absolutely has been. But it's just not the same. You know, it's just not the same. You're never going to get that same. I don't know of any, and I'd love, please, guys, hit us up in the comments as always and enlighten me, right? I would love to see the same kind of darkness in Marvel as something like, it's gone completely out of my mind. I'm thinking too much. Go on. Basically, Joker shooting Barbara Gordon's spine. Go on, paralyzing her.
Killing Joke.
Killing Joke, thank you. There you go.
Yeah.
Killing Joke, thank you, yeah. You know what I mean? That kind of like, you know, real like grit. I mean, it's so dark in it, Killing Joke, you know.
It's quite funny. I was the one to call that out first, right? And I haven't actually read through that. It's been on the to-do list.
Yeah, it's what he does with the camera afterward. That
100%, man.
It's what he does afterwards after he shoots her.
I was going to lead on, but then I didn't think that guy had seen it, so I thought, no, I won't say too much. And for those of you who haven't read it out there who are interested, you know, taking an interest in DC we're talking about, I implore you listeners, get the Killing Joke read if you haven't already. If you're a fan of Batman, you're a fan of the Joker, it is darkness.
Yeah, I think I've still got it in my bookmarks somewhere, my extended bookmarks. There's this entry on some forum where it's the Batman comics in chronological order to read them. If you want the story in chronological order, starting from like Batman 1 and then onwards. And,
year 1 and whatnot.
Yeah, when I was like forum hopping around, like, you know, the best way to read it, lots of people were always banging on about the Killing Joke being like one of the high points of the whole thing. And then I realized how much you have to read before you get there.
Yes.
Yes. There's a story behind it. It's not 3 pages. Yeah.
I started buying up stuff. This is obviously like this is where I started like buying up stuff online and whatever. And I did go to a couple of scan sites as well. But I was like, this is gonna cost me like this is gonna cost. I could probably like buy a house. Yeah, like with how much this, how do people that it's so, for me anyway, it seems almost overwhelming trying to. It's a bit like Star Wars. Like, I know there's so much to it, and if I can't get a grasp of the entirety of it, it's gonna bug me. It's gonna feel like there's more for me to do in that fandom. I'm not gonna feel like I've done enough.
There's only one thing you need to delve into. There's only one thing. We'll delve you in. Don't worry. There's only one thing. There's one thing you need to worry about.
Yeah, I feel like if you've got to with that sort of multiverse and stuff and certain characters in certain places, I feel like you've got to aim at one character and try follow that one character, because if you try go along a last of 5-6 characters, then you're gonna get lost. Yeah. I feel like if you concentrate, like for instance in the DC world, if you concentrated on Flash or Batman or, you know, anyone along the main characters, I feel like if you go down one of them routes, you kind of get the story across the board. Yeah. But
I definitely agree with that way more in like Marvel and DC, 100%. I'm right there with you, Tom, for that. Like you're good at focusing on one, it sort of branches off, you'll get other people in, you know, do one, then maybe move on to another when, you know, you're satisfied with that. But for me, things like Star Wars, for instance, because there is actually, like with the Middle Earth fandom, because there is a real, legitimate chronology. There is a timeline, and not one that reboots and changes with alternate dimensions and all this. I mean, literally from the beginning of time until now, right? There's literally those timelines in those fandoms, and because of that, you can go right back to like the origin, for instance, of the Sith and work your way up. And you do take a lot more on board. You learn about it. Don't get me wrong. Not saying that you'll remember every single Sith Lord's name, but you will know and retain so much more of it than you actually think you would.
I just wish I didn't have that sort of compulsion to like have or just know it all. It's like when I find a music artist that I have to listen, get a copy of it, digital or physical, of everything they've ever done that's available. For some reason, might be a problem I've got. I don't know, but it's just impossible. That's
why I love Spotify. That's why I love Spotify.
Yeah.
Because you'll listen to that one album, it'll be banging. Then you listen to the second, and it's like, whoops, goodbye.
Yeah, you can't do that. I don't feel with if you enter into the superhero or Marvel and DC, especially realm.
Yeah, it's definitely easier to focus on one. Yeah,
learning the origins is ridiculous.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just going forever. Is there any other major sort of comics, specifically superheroes. That's what I'm most into.
Valiant
other than
comics
DC.
are worth checking out.
Yeah.
They're a lot smaller, but they've got some really more unique heroes than what you see across than what we used to in comics. But definitely Valiant comics are worth checking out.
Fair.
Any in particular?
Exo Man of War's fun. He's a bit more brutal. He's a soldier from the Roman, like back end of the Roman Empire that gets taken to space.
Right.
And steals a super advanced alien armor and returns in our time. And yeah,
already, you've got me.
That's the simplest version of his origin I can give you.
That is sounding
it's really
anime-esque. Is that?
Yeah, that's a pretty good way of describing Valiant as a whole.
I was going to say, I've just typed him into the internet and looking at the pictures, and it's just come up one of the first results, like Iron Man versus Exo Man of War.
No, they're always there, mate. They're always there. Keep scrolling down, mate. Superman will be against him.
Yeah. There's a ninja guy in Valiant who's cool as well. I can't remember his name.
I'm sure that we've already spoken about this. I'm not sure if you have actually already read it, that guy. We've spoken about it, but The Dark Knight Returns. Like, the end of Batman. That has to be read. That is literally when Batman comes back after he's retired. He's old, he's done ski, but he needs to get it done, right? Because Gotham is in a bad way, and he needs to return for one last hurrah. And it's in that the inspiration between, like, I know it's, and it pains me to speak about it, but Batman versus Superman. When you see Batman in the armored suit and the whole Batman v Superman fight, that's where they got the inspiration from. That graphic novel.
Okay.
That fight is incredible in that story. You've got two choices. Either read the graphic novel or there is a 2-part film. It's literally split into 2 parts. And I think each of them's minimum an hour and a half long.
I see. Yeah. Animated movies, you mean?
Yeah, man. Yeah. Fully animated movies.
I think now you said there's animated movies, I'm thinking I might have actually seen them.
Yeah, that fight at the end is incredible.
Wow, so we all seem to be, when it comes to comics at least, a little bit leaning towards DC. What do we feel about the whole Justice League movie thing that's not
I'm reserving any comment until the Snyder Cut.
Yeah, I want to see it.
Yeah, tell Zach.
Yeah, I'm waiting because
is Snyder the guy because I'm terrible with the actor's names. Is that the guy that plays Superman?
No, that's the guy who originally was directing it until they sacked him off and replaced
Zack Snyder,
with Joss Whedon.
Yeah.
Scott Snyder writes Batman. Zack Snyder is the producer director. Yeah.
There you go.
Right,
yeah, there you go. And basically, he was in charge, and everyone was like, this is going to be the absolute dogs. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is going to be the one. And then they binned him off. And obviously, we got the film that we got, and supposedly the Snyder Cut is just like, it's the one, mate. Supposedly, that just makes the film a banger. So, I can't wait.
I'm just awaiting Robert Pattinson. I'm just waiting Robert Pattinson's Batman because I don't know.
I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm looking forward to it. I really am. I reckon I've got faith that he's going to nail it, and I can't wait until he does nail it. And everybody who all these years has been like, oh, that guy, which I get. I honestly,
I've said I've been that guy. I've been that guy saying
but
that.
I can't wait, man, until he nails it, and everyone's like, oh shit. And I love the inspiration as well behind his like bat symbol on the suit and whatnot, how they've actually taken it out of the graphic novel where the bat symbol is made up of the parts of the gun that shot his parents.
Okay. So we're looking forward to it because general consensus is because it's not going to match up to the Marvel ones, it's absolute trash. But the Marvel ones seemed a little bit, I enjoyed them.
Let's be honest, man, not every single film has been completely trash. Absolutely not.
I enjoyed Man of Steel.
Films. Genuinely, Man of Steel I really enjoyed. I know it got ripped on, but I absolutely loved Man of Steel. The first Wonder Woman film was awesome.
I would say Wonder Woman was a banger.
Awesome film, really good. I still haven't yet got a chance to see Shazam, but I've been told it's good.
I haven't yet either.
I've been told it's good though.
I forgot there was a Shazam movie.
Yeah, exactly. Aquaman was good as well. Aquaman was good. Don't be wrong. You do need 6 eyes to really follow along with a lot of the scenes. But it is it is. I enjoyed it. It's a feast for the eyes. I think that's why I enjoyed it so much, because it is like 80% of the film is like a heightened anime battle.
Yeah.
That's what that's what stood out for me on the when I was watching Man of Steel. I'm like, when it got to the bit where he's fighting Zod at the end, I'm like, listen, this is just like a live action Dragon Ball. My man's pushing him through buildings and doing the thing where they're pushing him in the ground when he insults his mum. And he don't ever say that about my mum, and just goes beast on him. I'm like, they want to start clapping and jumping up in the cinema. Sit down. I'm like, yo, do a Kamehameha, whoa.
Go and do it. Do out your eyeballs. See, I saw a meme that really made me laugh, where it was like Godzilla plowing through a city, destroying everything. Everyone's cheering, and Superman's like, oh yeah, you cheer when Godzilla destroys your city. Like, do you know what I mean? But like when I'm doing it to try and save the world, it's a problem.
Yeah.
And it's like so true. It's so true. But it is funny when you watch that fight, because it's just like, wow, every beam that goes through them buildings, like, that's another 1,000 people dead. At least.
It's something I used to always wonder when I was watching like the cartoons and stuff as well. I'm like, aren't these the good guys? Like, I'm sure like they're doing just as much damage as the bad guys.
And then they have some evil sides, yeah, definitely.
Man, if anybody's ever been unsure of Superman, just get into anything that is dark Superman and then come back and see us then.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Who enjoyed Smallville, speaking of Superman?
Man, funnily enough, that was too long ago for me. My sister was hugely into it, but this is back when I was not necessarily like a huge DC fan. I wasn't really, back when I always hold my hand up. I'm always completely honest about any character that I defend in this day and age. I will be honest. Back then, I thought about Superman. My view was, what's the point? He's too gnarly. Yeah. He's too gnarly. Yeah. What's the point? What is the point of him? He's too gnarly. But then when you actually get into the universe, yes, he is ridiculously gnarly. And you go, hey, Supes has turned up. He's about to get real. And then Doomsday kills him. So it's like, it swings and roundabouts. You realise that no, he can very much be, and I'm not being funny, it's like, he's ridiculously gnarly. He can take anybody on until you whip a little cheeky bit of kryptonite out.
Kryptonite magic, and his biggest weakness is his humanity. Which
I know that. I know absolutely.
And I agree. If he just goes all out at any point, it's sorted, but because he's human, he never quite goes all out straight away until 5 minutes after he's dead. Or
until Joker kills Lois.
Injustice is sick. Injustice is sick.
I can literally see right now, as I'm looking at my screen, I can see Superman's arm through Joker's chest. I can see that arm going straight through, and that smile on Joker's face as he just doesn't care.
I fucking love Joker.
Unreal.
It's the thing I always wanted to see. Like, what would happen if they just fought? Like, just don't hold back, and that's what would have happened. My man just put his arm through his chest like he's made of vegan cheese. Like,
we had before, trust me. Like with Dark Superman and stuff, because it was Superman who gave Batman a kryptonite ring in case he ever did go dark, so he could put him down.
I suppose having the game along with it helped as well, because I was a fan of the Android app version of the game.
Fair. It's an incredible storyline, man. It really is.
It really is.
It's a phenomenal storyline.
Yeah. I followed along with it to I got up to year 4. I think is what I got up to on there. I don't know how much it went up after year 4.
No idea. I only know the actual storyline of the graphic novels and the sort of the main games. I don't know anything about the phone game. I don't know where it took.
Oh no! I mean of the comics. They came out in years as well, didn't they?
Oh, right, like the volume, if you will. You got to about right. I'm with you, dude. Sorry.
I'm sure they called him years in that. Yeah.
Like year 1, year 2. Yeah. Quite possibly. But it was banger that.
Tom, what is your favorite single issue of any particular? What is just your most recommended issue of a comic?
You've already mentioned it. My most prized possession is a Titan's first print of the Killing Joke. So that is. You already mentioned it. That's
amazing. Yeah.
Is it kept in a film packet? Is it on that level of?
Yeah,
treasures?
it's got it's backing board and then inside a slab and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Because if it had said no, people have been finding that IP. If it had said no, and I don't even mean any of us,
mate.
I don't even mean any of us, man. I'd be seeing you on the news, right? Let me tell you.
How many issues of any comics have you got in that you keep like that you cherish?
I've got 4, I think. I'm not sort of like a collector where I go back to the old comics and invest. I'm more of a, you get comics that are obviously graded and slabbed. I don't own one sort of slabbed book. I keep a book that, like The Killing Joke, that I won't damage, and it's in a case where you can't be damaged, but I'm more of a reader. So rather than looking for stuff like that, so I've just got like a couple of the new 50 comic from Superman and 50 from Batman. They were variant covers, and they were like I've got one of, I think, the 1,500 copies worldwide, so I've got 288. Yeah, so
Jesus.
Yeah,
I've got some cool stuff, but then a lot of my stuff is literally backed and board when I've read it. I don't buy comics to just have them sat there. They are read articles, you know what I mean? I'm not really fussed about the value of them or a variant cover, because
you're not going to sell them anyway.
That's it. You get to the point now where, especially like with Marvel, they're releasing like 50 variant copies per comic, and there's people buying these 50 variants.
That's nuts. It's like when I gave up on buying limited edition games. I used to, like, if I enjoyed a game, or even if I didn't really enjoy it, but I knew there was like a limited edition, this is way back, I'd go out and buy it. But now when they're printing, just about 50 less than standard copies of the limited edition of it, like, is it actually limited now? Why am I paying extra? You know what I mean? It's just
Gears of War 2 taught me to stop buying special editions of games. Let me tell you. Why? Well, I mean, my most, if you were to ask me the question, I'll answer right now, right? My most prized gaming possession, my most prized gaming possession would be my photo of Dom and Maria. Right? My Gears of War 2 special edition. What treats were waiting for me inside that bad boy. Let me tell you. Well, I found out, didn't I? And I mean, what I'd do without that photo of Dom and Maria, I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know what I'd do.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, like back in the day, like with like Call of Duty and Gears, or like Halo, you got like with the special editions like the Halo, you got the helmet.
I've got it.
Yeah.
Got the legendary edition. Yeah.
And with Call of Duty, you got like the night vision goggles.
Man, for Killzone as well. Killzone 3 special edition, I've got the Hellgast helmet that came with an actual like figure of like a Helgen sniper. It was the best special edition I've ever bought of anything. It was wild, honestly, how much stuff you got with it. 45 quid HMV.
Yeah.
What?
Mate, I've never got so much in a special edition of anything in my entire gaming life, including the legendary edition of Halo 3 with the Chief's helmet. I have never, and that was 75 quid. Whereas the Hellgas, they were literally stacked up in the front door of HMV. I walked in, picked one up, straight to the counter. Didn't even know they were there. Just walked in the shop, saw it, grabbed it, off we go. Done.
It has. I mean, maybe because I don't buy games anymore, but I used to, Assassin's Creed 3, you get the medallion and bits and bobs you used to get with it, like posters and all sorts. It's sort of, for last time I checked, you would get one of those, I call them like probably like the Wish models. I think I got one with the Final Fantasy 15 one that I got. I don't even know where that is now, to be honest with you, the Noctis statuette thing. But do you still get those of games if you physically buy them now? Do you know? Man,
if you buy the certain editions that by the time you go and find it, it's gone. And I mean, like you go and find it the second it's been released and they're all gone. Like, when they released, when they were doing Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, if you bought the Ultimate Edition of that, you got a massive statue of Goku, Gohan, and Piccolo, I think.
Yeah, well, I didn't even
Or
know.
it was like a huge statue of Goku on the Nimbus. Something like that. You got a massive, big, gnarly statue with it to celebrate, obviously, the release of Kakarot. But you're not getting them. Do you know what I mean? Because you've got
a standard version. You've got a card.
Man, honestly, like, I don't understand how they're that quick. It's like they climb inside the data stream and just go, you wait, I'm first. It's mental.
Just buy the normal version and go on Wish and get the statues now. They're not bad quality things, mate.
Oh, man, bring on 1,000 Year Blood War, because I'm telling you, I need that statue, man.
Yeah,
I need it. That, and I think, you know, even when we were just talking about it the other day, I think it might have actually become just my favourite villain in anime, 100%, you know. I really do. I get giddy just thinking about how gnarly he is. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's above and beyond. And this is the thing which is so weird. And I know it sounds so ridiculous that Naruto would be my favourite of all time, but somehow my favourite villain in anime history is not one of Naruto. Like, don't be wrong. Oh, there's many in Naruto that are my absolute favourites. But I think overall, like, you know, just including everything across the board, he's got to be number one.
Yeah, we're talking about Aizen, by the way, guys, because he hasn't mentioned that yet.
Yeah, I didn't mention it already because now you spoiled it for Tom.
Huh?
I didn't mention his name because now you ruined it for Clockwork.
Oh, snap.
He's not started season 2 yet, mate. So that's not been revealed yet.
He's not started season 2 yet. Yeah,
that's not been revealed. And
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, thanks for after the facts.
I am shit.
I love how all the people you don't think are going to word something properly, it's me. Of all the people.
That's twice now, isn't it, mate?
Yeah, it is.
I did it with Naruto as well, didn't I?
You almost spoiled Nedge as well.
Mate, well, on that bombshell.
I'm pretty sure I did.
No, you were close to what I think PT stopped you on that one.
Right,
yeah, I did.
Okay.
I dove in.
Yeah.
Don't like I was taking a bullet in slow motion. Like I was taking a bullet in slow motion, I dove in front of that one. But I'm sorry, Clockwork, I've not been able to save you this time.
Oh, don't worry, it's fine.
No, I am so much more sorry than PT, mate. Trust me. And on that, I think it's a good note to end this.
This is what I said on that bombshell right there.
Is that we're wrapping up? Is
it? Yeah.
Oh,
so,
weird.
Tom, other than that absolute bombshell of an ending, I hope you've enjoyed the hour you've spent with us.
I've absolutely loved it, guys. Honestly, I have. I've had so much fun and learned a lot of things. Good. So thank you very much for inviting me on.
Man, thank you so much for joining us.
No, thank you for having me.
It's been amazing.
Thank you so much for joining us, man. It's been awesome to have you on.
Thank you very much for sparing the time. Honestly, really appreciate it.
No, thank you, guys. I really do appreciate your time. Thank you.
No worries. Well, I have been that guy yet again, unfortunately. Sorry.
And of course, I've been PT64.
And I've been Clockwork Nerd.
And I shall try to do better next time, guys. Thank you very much for joining us.
Bye.
Later, guys.
Peace.